So I am finally back in my bedroom. It has genuinely been since March since I've properly been in here. March, April, May, June, July, August, nearly 6 months since I was last in here. Probably around 6 months ago since I properly filmed in here. I have obviously had to come in and out to feed animals. A lot of the time my parents were doing it, but I thought I would basically sit down and make an update video because ultimately it has been 6 months since I have filmed a proper video inside my room, and a lot has changed in those 6 months, so I thought I'd make an update video just to get you guys back on track. I have done a few vlogs. I wanted to do this before the vlogs, but then code orange so I had to go TK Maxx, HomeSense, The Range, UMBRA. I had to go to all the shops and vlog that first. It took priority over doing an update. But I have finally found a day where I have a few hours free and I'm here, I'm at home, so I thought I would film. Hopefully my lighting and everything is okay. It has been a hella long time since I have tried to set up all my lighting. It's been a long time since I've just really done anything in my room, and I have been buying a lot of stuff. I have pretty much completely converted my wardrobe into EXO Umbra clothes, other than buying a lot of dresses, which I'll come to in a second. The main thing I've really been buying since then is homeware. So yes, let's get into it. I'm gonna go through what's happened and how I got here, and then what the future is looking like for me, for us, for this channel, for life. So as you may or may not know, I am a primary school teacher. So in March I was there teaching my year 1 class, everything was going fine, and then the schools closed. And as I'm sure many of you experienced with your jobs, when everything shut down, I just wasn't really ready. I wasn't expecting it. I could have done with like a couple of weeks notice, so I could have prepared work for the children or kind of come up with an action plan, but it was a case of they are shutting in 3 days. Some kids I still haven't seen since then, and other ones hung on till the end, so some of them I was able to give more work to. Although my dad is very vulnerable, I live here with my dad currently and my mum. Even though he was very vulnerable, I still went into work until the closing date, because ultimately I still had, you know, most of my class in. But then it became kind of the difficult decision between, do I go back in to continue to support the key workers, or do I stay at home and shield with my dad? So I decided, for like my family's sake, to shield and stay here at home. It was a very odd time because I had to still teach for a full day, but I had to do the whole thing from home. I then started a YouTube channel for children. It was mainly for the children in my class, my school, but there were other people that joined us from other schools. I know some of you guys discovered it and probably like, is she alright? As I was reading children's books and doing children's crafts and things, but that kind of took over, and unfortunately, whereas making videos for you guys is a real kind of passion and hobby of mine, I just love doing it so much, making the videos for the children became a little bit of a chore, and I had to do it daily. And I like to have a very, on this channel, you guys know, I'm a bit sporadic. I upload when I want to, what I want, when I want. But for school I had to be very specific. If a child wanted me to read a specific story, I kind of had to. I had to release work on a certain time. I was having to do a blog that had to then coincide with the videos, so I'd have to set work that were then linked to a video. So it'd be like, to do this work, watch this video first and then complete this activity. So honestly, making videos from like March, April, May, those 3 months I kind of lost my passion when it came to videos, because I had poured so much into doing videos for my job that I then just lost my mojo when it came to making videos for you. Then during those 3 months I decided to move to Mike's house, just because it gave me a bit more freedom. As you guys know, absolutely animal mad. I have animals here, which you can probably hear Albert because he's currently lodged himself between a piece of wood and some glass, but that's fine. But at school, at work, I still also have loads of animals. I've got Trevor, my gerbil, that you guys may remember him. He used to live in my window. I've got Trevor, I've got Janet, and I did actually upload some videos about some little alterations I was making to their homes. I have Rupert, my axolotl, I have 3 snails, and I have a leaf insect, and I did have 2 stick insects, but one of them passed away. So I had a lot of animals still in school that I need to take care of, and I also had animals at Mike's house, like Jeff and Jim, my Pac-Man frog, and so it was just one of those things where it was like, I've got to work out where I can be to be the most helpful and the fairest to all of my animals, if that makes sense. Which basically meant leaving here, because here I have Albert, my tortoise, and I have Pod, my dragon, and then I also have my cat. Now my cat is looked after by everyone, and my tortoise and my dragon, my parents agreed to look after. Obviously I had to show them what to do. So I left here and I went and moved to Mike's. Now filming at Mike's was impossible because I could only film outside. His mum does night shifts, so often during the day I couldn't speak loud enough. Like I'd film a video and I'd be like, oh, just so you know that I've currently just bought this new dress from UMBRA. And it was just so quiet because I couldn't project because she was trying to sleep in the room next door. Also the lighting was awful, I couldn't find a good background, and his room is a bit like mine, it's absolutely full to the brim, whereas mine is very cluttered, but it's all Halloween themed, so I feel like it kind of works. Mike has like a little bit of everything. He's got like half of his stuff, half of my stuff's now over there. State. I also gained a lot of weight during this whole process because I was moving from here where it is very structured. I eat my 3 meals a day and I often eat the same as what my parents are eating, to moving to Mike's where he would go to work and then I'd just spend the whole day snacking and crafting and cross-stitching and snacking a bit more. And not, well actually I have done like a walk every day with the dog, at least one, but the weight piled on while I was at Mike's house. I think I went a little bit crazy as well with the fact like, oh, no one can see me eating all this chocolate, so I can't eat it. And basically that meant a lot of my clothes that are here, which are currently in my wardrobe, don't fit me anymore. I have gone up 2 dress sizes. This is why I've become so obsessed with UMBRA, because I bought all of my UMBRA dresses in a size extra large and they are baggy, they are comfortable when I have my various stomach issues, they're not digging in at all, and I just become obsessed with just the feel of her clothes, the style, the quality. I love all of it. But my only downfall of being obsessed with UMBRA is the fact that because none of the dresses are tight and because they all fit me like perfectly, I don't realise how much weight I've gained because I'm like, oh, well, it's not digging in. And then I'll put on like my Killstar dresses and I'll be like, oh. So then Mike's room became so overwhelmed with my clothing because I was buying like a lot of clothes, because I was trying to find clothes that fit me, because when June rolled around I then had to go back to school to teach because I was no longer here shielding. It then meant I could go and teach. Now I teach year 1, so for all of you who aren't in England, year 1, so reception, year 1 and year 6 were the 3 chosen years where all of the kids could pretty much come back. We were only allowed 15 per class, but any child could come back. It didn't matter if they were a key worker, it didn't matter what their parents did. If their parents were home all day, if they wanted their children to come back, they could. And I'm a year 1 teacher, I'm the only year 1 teacher in my school, so I was like, I've got to go back. So I went back in June, and I basically need loads of clothes that were going to fit me. It's been boiling here, it's still boiling here. So Mike's room is also jam-packed with my clothes. So I went back to school and honestly it was absolutely fine. I genuinely was terrified before we went because I was like, I worry that I may get the virus. I worry that the children won't be safe. I worry that it just won't be worth it, that the clean, because we have to clean everything, like the cleaning's going to be too much. I was really stressed out, but actually when I got there, other than the fact I only had 15 children on most days, it felt really normal. Like teaching 5-year-olds, you have to tell them to wash their hands constantly anyway when they go to the toilet, so it's not even like it's was like additional in that way. I just did what I normally did and a bit more. So that was all fine, and actually I wasn't worried at all. I had a really good time. I loved being at school because it made me forget really what else was going on outside. But the issue still remained that I wasn't here, so filming was really hard. I did do a little bit of filming in the greenhouse, and I know that really confused everyone because they're like, do you live in the greenhouse now? But basically the main thing was I could come back to my garden, but I couldn't come back like inside because my dad was still shielding. So I finished school halfway through July, and then my dad officially finished his shielding along with the rest of the UK who were not in special lockdown. He finished his shielding at the beginning of August, which meant that I could come back home, and that's where we are now. I did a COVID test once I finished school. It was disgusting. I was gonna say like I don't recommend it to anyone, but obviously I do recommend it if you're having symptoms. But literally like swab right on the back of my tonsils for 15 seconds and then up my nose like for 15 seconds again, but you had to go like right up, so I had to sit on this side because my piercing was in the way, and that came back fine. I haven't had the antibody test, so I don't know if I have had it, but I haven't had any, touch wood, symptoms. But it was nice to know that I just hadn't caught anything from school, and therefore I wasn't going to be a risk to come back home. So as soon as I got that test in, as soon as it was all right for me to come back home, I came back for a week. I didn't really film anything in that week because it was more like just settling back. I had not slept in my own bed for 6 months. I was literally like, huh? So it was just readjusting. I had things I needed to sort out, and then this is kind of where all the excitement comes. Like, side note, I have partly moved back to Mike's, but now it's a bit more flexible, so we've bubbled our house with Mike's house, so I am interchanging between the two. But because I have been living with Mike literally since Easter, we decided it was like about time that we moved out. We have been together for over 6 years now, and it's going on 7 years. And we were like, we should probably move out now. So we've wanted to move out for a really long time. You guys know I've wanted to move out for a really long time. I watched one of my room tours, I think it was from 2017, and I was like, excuse my curtains, but I'm hoping to move out soon. Still have these horrible curtains, although the ones over here are black, so that's good. We wanted to move out, but we didn't think we had the right funds. Moving out is a long process. I think I may make a separate video about what we've done in order to get to where we've got. But as it stands, we have made an offer and had it accepted on a 3-bedroom house. It has a garden, it has a garage, it has 2 parking spaces out the front. It is our dream house. It is going to be big enough for us to have obviously our living area and our kitchen and our dining room separate. We can have a reptile room, our bedroom which overlooks these gorgeous hills. It's honestly like a dream come true, and then we'll have a spare bedroom which I'll be turning into a filming room, and I think that's where I'm going to take the majority of my Halloween stuff and put it there. I know a lot of people are like, I can't wait to see your house, it's going to be like decorated, mental. I'm gonna warn you now, it will be full of Halloween stuff, as you can imagine, but all of my Halloween stuff is currently in this one room, and I think when it gets dispersed, it will look more normal. It won't look so insane, I think, maybe. But I want a filming room where I can have all of my stuff set up. I can have all of my plushies, which are currently all boxed up, but I can have my plushies, and well, half of these cushions are probably going to go on the sofa, but I can have some of the cushions. Like, I mean, the Nightmare Before Christmas cushions I have were a gift from Mike about 5 years ago, and 5-6 years ago. I think I had them in one of my first ever YouTube videos, and to me, these are my filming cushions. And if I'm completely honest with you, the Jack cushion and the Oogie Boogie cushion, I don't have on my bed normally. I only put them on to film because it's part of a process for me. It's part of a way of disconnecting this area from the area I sleep to the area that I film, if that makes sense. So I'd have these like as like a permanent setup that I wouldn't have to keep moving, and I can have my lights all ready and set up so I can literally just sit down and film. I don't have to move everything, because at the moment I have to move everything off of my bed. As I said, I get the cushions, I have to set up my light, I've got my tripod on like on my desk chair. It's a bit of a a ratchet setup. It's worked with these years, but I'm so excited to upgrade and to finally just take that more professional step. But at the same time, I don't want to lose, like, I still probably will film on the side of a bed. I'm thinking of taking this exact bed and putting it in the spare room, because this bed itself is absolutely fine. It's just, it's a double bed, and Mike has a king size bed, so we'd rather have his as our main bed. But this one is really nice just for sitting on and filming. So I'll still probably kind of have the same sort of vibe, but for me, it will just make it easier to film, and it will be your guys' room, and everything in there will be for YouTube, and I can put all my favourite spooky ghosts and pumpkins all in one place still. And like, I do want to disperse some stuff, but some stuff I feel works better when it's all together in a collection. So that's really where we are. We're waiting to move into the house. We've had everything signed off and ready to go, but the vendor, the person selling the house, hasn't found anywhere to move to yet. So it really depends on them, and that's kind of why I want to document this process, because I've never done it before. I'm a first-time buyer, and I'm sure lots of other people are in the same boat, and in today's climate everything is really odd, but there's a lot of savings, there's lots of good prices at the moment. It's a really good time to move, so I thought I'd document the process. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this will be our house. Hopefully this first house will go okay, but there is a very large possibility that it could fall through and we'll be back to square one again, looking for another house. But it's definitely on the cards, and definitely within the next year I will be moving out properly, and then there'll be a whirlwind of home decor. I mean, I've already got a nice pile here to show you in a moment, but there'll be a whirlwind of home decor and more house tours, and it will be the end of my room tours, which will genuinely be like a very sad time for me. And it kind of sucks because my room is already so full at this point, with stuff to move to the house when we have it, that I kind of can't do a room tour because I can't like tidy it up. There's too much stuff in here at this point. I think we knew that was coming. Every time I do a room tour, it's like slowly getting less and less carpet. But yeah, I'm really excited, and definitely it's now the school holidays, although I say that we're halfway through the holidays already, which is insane. So I've got a bit more time to film, but also I'm hoping now I don't have to do my school filming. I can just focus more on you guys, and Halloween is coming, Halloween hauls are coming. I did want to ask you a couple of things that I'd love your opinion on. One is, do we want to keep it hashtag year of the witch, or shall we change it to hashtag year of, well, I'm calling this a gnome, but someone else called it something else the other day. What was it? They had a name for it. Please drop it down below. Where it's like a guardian of your garden rather than just a gnome, but like effectively hashtag year of the gnome. So would you like it to stay hashtag year of the witch, or shall we change it to hashtag year of the gnome, since gnomes seem to be everywhere? And the last thing really that I wanted to ask was, what did you guys think about kind of the vlog slash haul kind of thing? Last year I really weighed myself down because I'd go and I'd buy 2 things at a time from TK Maxx, 2 things at a time from HomeSense, and then I'd kind of leave them stacked up waiting to make a bigger vlog when I had a few more items. So how did you feel about me just vlogging the shopping process and then coming back and just doing a kind of informal haul? Would you prefer, honestly it's completely up to you guys and what you think, but would you prefer me to sit down here as I used to do, and like formally show you each of the items, and do a very in-depth review? I do love doing them, and I'm completely not against doing them, I'm happy to do them this year. But for example, when I bought this gnome and the other gnome, it was just quicker just to be like, I bought these gnomes, these are what they look like, this is the price, and here's how they are. But saying that, saying that, I have got a bit more time now, so I can do more in-depth reviews. I won't do an in-depth one for these gnomes because I've already shown you them, but if you guys would prefer that, I do love sitting down and making these in-depth Halloween haul reviews, but I don't know if you guys would think that's kind of pointless if I also vlog the process. Maybe you'd prefer me to scrap the vlogs and just do the hauls. Just let me know what you guys are feeling. It's nice to stop and reflect each year and work out what works, what doesn't work, what you guys want to watch, what you guys don't want to watch. Just let me know. Put it down in the comments. And so many of you have been asking when I'm going to do my doll's house, and I can officially tell you that 2 days ago I filmed a doll's house video. Yes, I did, and it's on this memory card that I'm currently filming on, and I cannot wait to edit it. I just had a hectic few days with house stuff. I'll make a whole house separate video because I don't want to go too much about it into property. And yeah, it's ready to go. I just need to edit it and I'll put it up, and it will probably be one of the ones after this one. But yeah, I have done it, so don't worry, it's on its way, it's on its way. And I love doing my doll's house. And again, another thing of when I move out, I can put my doll's house in my filming room and it's all set up and I don't have to breathe. Anyway, it's been so lovely to sit and chat and have a little catch up with you. I will now film a separate video about houses. I'll probably look the same. Got a little haul to do. Got my spooky box coming tomorrow, so that will be somewhere, and maybe before, maybe after. And I'll probably be at Mike's tomorrow, so I'll have to film it outside if the sun is nice and it's not too hot, etc. So thank you very much for watching. If you do have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. If it's anywhere you are, I hope you enjoy the shade, and I will see you next time. Bye!